heard her say that I have to bring the wisdom of the universe. Kind of a big order, you know. I'm just saying. Well, I have spoken in this church many times. I was speaking out in the foyer earlier about the fact that we started in the living room of someone's home many years ago, Nick Saran, and his wife Mimi. And at that time, we didn't have certified mediums in our group at that point. And yet, there were many people studying, and this is an offshoot of another spiritualist place. So in doing that, this specific church, the Church of Awareness, met eventually in the side of a strip mall on 1792, right off of Corinne Drive, right in that region, for any of you who are familiar with it. And so I taught classes there, and I was not a part of this church. Then years later, I moved to Casadega in 1978, and I have to get my dates correct here. And in doing so, I had become familiar with a different organization. Not because of not appreciating this group. So I enjoy coming here because what I tell people is when I come here I can play. Look out. Okay, so today, because tomorrow we have this whole new year, you know, it says, say, I'll see you in the new year, meaning I'll see you tomorrow. And the exciting thing is, we change constantly. You didn't ask me for what my title was.
Oh, I'll get it. Keep going. Keep going. I'll pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, are you sure?
I'm sure.
What I wanted to speak about is the you that is you that is you. Have you got that?
I've got that.
You're going to go home today and you're going to say, I'm the me that is me that is me, and I haven't a clue what she said. But the topic is the you that is you that is you.
I like that.
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Rosie. Thank you for what you do, too. Anyway, I wanted to be in pictures.
Yeah.
In my mirror.
You're beautiful.
Thank you so much. Anyway, the you that is you is constantly changing. You are. And you know what I think is an extremely significant thing is we go through Christmas, and I don't know about you, but I get very nostalgic. I remember other Christmases and people and families or gifts I didn't get. You probably don't remember that, but I do. Anyway, and so there's a lot of nostalgia that goes on at holiday time. And then all of a sudden, here we are, and we have this brand new year. So now we have resolutions of how to be better people. Well, I don't have resolutions. I just have hope. And the hope is I put down hopes for the new year. One of them is that I learn how to use Outlook. I know many of you are very computer smart, but the you that is you that is me is not real electronically. This is wisdom of the universe? Okay, just check. So what happens is that in seriousness, because some of you are not used to me being so playful, is the fact that you have within you this wonderful thing called soul. We sing songs about it, we talk about it, the word is used a lot in books, in sermons, and in discussions. And what does it mean? Well, you can have your own view of it, but to me the soul is very large. It is not this tiny little thing that exists in some little part of you. To me, it houses the physical form that you are. The physical form that you are allows you to make all kinds of wonderful creative choices in your life. Did you realize that? You probably think, oh no, I did that because I had an idea. Well, you had an idea because maybe that soul spirit of you got pressed, nudged a little bit, and went over here and said, wow, this looks pretty good, and those wisdoms of the universe came on through. So what happens is the you that is you is constantly changing. You're not the same person you were yesterday. You're not the same person you were last year at this time. You're not the same. And yet many times we hold on to the consistency of what is. We hold on to what we think is the truth. We hold on to what we consider to be real in our lives. And in doing that, sometimes it prevents us from the expansion that we can experience. Expansion is a potential that any of us have at any moment. You expand to take a breath in. You expand out to take a breath in, and then you inhale, you contract at that moment. You do that in thought constantly. So what happens with the you that was you? I think of the fact that a year ago, I'm not the same person that I was then. I've had new insights, new experiences, new opportunities. I've had new difficulties. I've had new choices. I've had new challenges. How about you? And it doesn't mean they're all right, wrong, good, or bad. They just is what they is. I'm doing a really good thing with grammar today. My mother would have had fits. Yes, anyway, so the you that is you, that is you. Who are you, and how do you know you today? Do you know you in terms of the things you enjoy? Or do you only know you in terms of the things that are traumas, difficulties, or the lack that you might have had, or the thing that didn't get fulfilled, or the problem that has occurred? A lot of the time in growing up, many of us learn what we're not. A lot of us learn that we should be this, that, and the other. I had it a lot. I had it about schooling, I had it about myself as a woman, I had it, it was coming and bombarding from all sides, but you don't think about it, it just is what it is because you're in that particular family, or you're in those particular schools, or you're discovering particular information. And then it's later that all of a sudden we recognize whether those truths are still active within us and if they truly have meaning. So we get to discover the you that is you, that is me today. And that's you. The opportunity to become all that you have thought you wanted to be. I was laying in bed the other night, I was frustrated over something, and I said, you know, I could go back to school. It took me a long time to get through college, but okay. But I could go back to school, and I could become a mental health counselor. And it was after I had seen somebody and talked with them and gave them a reading. Not that that person was way off base, but it reminded me of the fact that life never stops. Life doesn't stop. You're the person that stops it, but not necessarily has life stopped. Those potentials that are attached to you when you're born, there's a gazillion of them, not just 2, 3, 4. Your only mission in life isn't to just have money. Your own mission in life isn't just to have a nice house. Your own mission in life isn't to have children and have them raised correctly, whatever that means to you. You are here to let your soul create, and it does so impeccably and quickly. And how it does that is with either a sense of joy or a sense of boredom. And boredom can often be because of the very fact that you've had same old, same old, same old. You know, when Christmas songs start filtering into a store in September, What do? Do you sing jingle bells and go to the cashier and check out? Or are you just indignant, or have you put it all to the background now? Because, oh, that's just jingle bells and I'll hear that for another 3 months. Well, 107.7 radio, the day after Thanksgiving, they just do Christmas music until after Christmas. And I don't turn it on at that point. And that's my preference, and I'll tell you why. We're bombarded all the time with information. And one thing is, do those things bring you joy? You get to find out. If the things in your life are not bringing you joy, then look again and discover if there isn't one little kernel in there. And it might not mean that everything is rosy, cheery, happy, but what it might mean is that there's one little thing that might be a turning. The quote that came to mind today was that one moment can change a day. One day can change a life. One life can change a world. And you don't have to be a big star, you don't have to be a celebrity, you don't have to drive a particular type of car, you don't have to have a particular house, or it isn't about that. It's about you being you because you're you. And that's special. The uniqueness of who we are is amazing. And when you talk with people, even if you have similarities in terms of skills or talents or enjoyments and entertainments, it doesn't matter. You're always going to be you inside you. And if you're not, and you're living somebody else's dream of who you ought to be, that's not a bad thing, but it's not you being you because you're you. So you get to discover. There's this wonderful capability that we have of discovery. And that is what you watch. Many of us stand up here and give messages. What is that? We discover in a moment thought and share those thoughts and share those images. There isn't a preconceived idea that I'm going to tell you, you look good and green, kiddo. Really? There isn't a preconceived thing. This is spontaneous thinking. You have it in anything you do. I don't care how regimented you are. I worked for accountants years ago. I'm not one. I was their gopher person that did a little bit of this and that. But what I'm saying to you is this. There could be a rigidity because people become absolute. They become absolute in what they think. They become absolute in what they believe. They become absolute because of what they hear. Where's the truth in that? You don't always know. The best way to find out if something that you're hearing, something that you're watching, something that you're talking about is the truth, test it. Test it. That doesn't mean you have to make a big deal about it. It just means you get to take one little step towards that truth. 2024 is going to be an exciting year. I know this. And you know how? Because I went on MSNBC on the computer this morning and I chose a tarot card. I haven't done this with tarot cards since probably the early 70s. So please note that this is not a normal pattern. And the High Priestess came up, and she's full of wisdom. And I started laughing. How about you? Some of you look extremely serious. So when was the last time that somebody told you a good joke? And when was the last time that you allowed that to bubble up? And when was the last time that in bubbling up, it didn't mean it was the best joke, and it didn't mean it was a cute joke, and the person that told it probably doesn't even know how to tell jokes. But at the same point, something bubbles up. What is that? What is that? What is it when there's a little levity, when there's a little lightheartedness? In natural law, we have a law of gravity, but the opposite is often chosen to be the law of levitation. It's not necessarily all or nothing, right or wrong, good or bad, so don't hear that. But the levity that you can have in your life, that lightheartedness that you can experience, even if it's a little nanosecond, touches into the physical body. It expresses itself in the very cellular structure of you. The you, is not the you that is here today. The you that is here today is the you that is that you is. You. I got that. You see it? I don't. And the reason that I wanted to speak about it today was because of the nostalgia of the holiday season. A lot of people get into depression, sadness, a funk, I call it. And sometimes it's not easy to wiggle our way out of it. Or sometimes there's isolation that occurs. And sometimes that isolation is okay, and sometimes the thoughts just come crashing in. And so what happens with New Year's? And what happens with those resolutions when you say, well, this year I'm going to do this, that, and the other? I went on mega diets for years. And of course, December was not a dieting time. Really? I recently wrote a note that said I got this wonderful popcorn as a gift, and I love popcorn. And this gift had cheese popcorn. And I said, so I sat and I ate a piece, and then I ate more, and I kept eating, and then I said, but cheese is a protein, right? And then there's the fiber thing and the grain. So I could make it work, sort of. This is when you test something. So those important choices and important decisions and those things that make you annoyed, or those things that, and I'm not even here to talk political. We've got enough annoyance coming in from all directions. We've got enough being bombarded in the media, and I'm sure that you have screens, whether they're on your phone or your computer or your TV, and there's probably some other device that I haven't even mentioned because I don't even know it exists. But what I'm saying is a lot of those things bombard us with information. And one telling thing is, when they come across and say, breaking news, and you see footage of a picture of something that happened, not in your neighborhood, but across the continent, and it's a picture that you saw yesterday. Is there truth that that's breaking news? You bet there's not. But we're bombarded with all of this. So it makes people contrary. We're moving into a year when we're going to see more people angry and annoyed. And what is that about and why? 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 The you that is you that was angry 2 years ago over something, if you're still carting around with that anger, you might want to figure out how to do some sort of ritual and bury it in your backyard. I don't do ritual really well, so I don't, you could talk to others, they might. But what I would tell you is truth, truth. The you that is you, I know that I'm different than I was a year ago. I know that I have new perceptions of things. I've had realizations of things that I thought were this way, and I'm learning that they weren't. They were this way, and there's a truth in that. And if you're not able to absorb that for you in your life, then you're missing something. And the reason that I'm saying that is our lives are filled with facts. And the older you get, the more facts you've had coming on in here. But are you going to relive them accurately? No. And the reason is because you're not there, you're here. And being right here, look at all the things you've been exposed to now. We have this incredible year ahead. And you know, I could keep talking for another hour and you all would go, oh, will she ever be quiet? That universal wisdom thing's got to, needs a plug in it. That the reason that I'm saying this to you is the more joy that is expressed, whether it's in the little things or the big things, the greater your life is going to feel. Are other people going to recognize it? No. Other people leave me alone a lot. Other people treat me in particular ways that I go, huh? And then, so I stand up here and I talk and I share. You have circumstances in your life where the you that was you, did all these things over here. So have I. But the incredible thing is the you that is you now has all these potentials of discovery, has all these places it can explore, and has a lot of opportunities not to hold on to perhaps those old resolutions that don't serve you. I just always remember putting the pictures on the refrigerator of me when I was 17. And at that point I was in my 30s. And I was in my 40s. And then there's that 50s time. And it's like trying to look like something from the past. But the you that is you is here. And one moment can change a day. And one day can change a life. And one life 2024, make it your life, because the you that is you has never been more